Okay, we're on the air.
Shalom. We just got finished doing a live stream, and we're in the car right now. And this is breaking news. I'm gonna have Apostle Ryan Law read the articles, and this is Black Death, better known as the bubonic plague. Bubonic plague, the Black Death. And we're going to do more videos on it. They had quarantined a plane in Mongolia, and 2 people supposedly died. And the rest of the people, I believe it was 158 people on the plane. So they're all stuck on that plane. Because what they did was they issued quarantine. So read the article out.
Newsweek, health. This is today. Actually, this goes back to the 3rd.
This is yesterday.
Yeah. It says bubonic plague, terrified tourist quarantine after Black Death outbreak in Mongolia. It says
and while you're getting it together, there was now last week that quarantine that they had in California, those 2 universities. One of them was UCLA. I said, if you go back to the live stream that we did last week, I said that's going to be a new trend, and I said it's going to start happening a lot. So I said try to stay away from public places. Now, what is it? Two days ago, there was a quarantine. They had quarantined a ship down there in St. Lucia. And I was working, I was driving, but I had my camera with me, and I pulled my car over, and I did a quick video, and then I threw it right up. So there you have it, man. Like I said, go and watch the video live stream for last week. That I said this is not gonna stop with those 2 universities out there in California. I said this is gonna be the new trend.
It says passengers have been taken off a plane and put under medical supervision over fears they have contacted.
And that's behind the World Health, the World Health Organization, WHO, and which the what's the one in Atlanta, the
CDC.
The CDC, what does it represent? CDC.
Center for
Disease Control and Prevention is under the authority of WHO, which is the World Health Organization. That movie,
Contagion.
Not Contagion, but World War Z, when people were becoming zombies, they mentioned the World Health Organization, and they even in the movie Contagion, one of the scenes with Lawrence Fishburne, he was a doctor at the CDC, so they mentioned the CDC. And in the movie World War Z, they mentioned the World Health Organization. So these are organizations set up by the elite. Go ahead.
It says medical supervision over fears they had contact with a couple who died from the bubonic plague. Emergency staff in protective clothing boarded the plane, which had arrived in the Mongolian capital Ulaanbaatar from the cities of Bayan, Ugil, and Kovd. The Siberian Times reported.
Oh,
that was good.
I'm on into the left.
I was going to tap you, man, but I thought you see it.
We might have to quarantine your ass.
I was like in a trance, like
the red light disease epidemic.
It says
the disease that you can't stop at a red light. Go ahead.
It says they were deployed and concerns that passengers had been in contact either directly or indirectly with the husband and his pregnant wife, aged 38 and 37.
Hey, so you Negroes, they got any Mongolian friends, man, they gonna grab your ass up. Go ahead.
And from Ugly, who had died from the disease on April 27th. It says 11 passengers from the west of Mongolia were held at the airport and sent immediately for hospital checks, while more than 150 others were examined at the airport. The couple was said to have contacted the killer disease after eating a marmot, which is a large squirrel.
Oh no.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I see why they got
Oh,
these
man.
motherfuckers eating squirrel.
Yeah,
Hey, for you
goddamn
niggas
squirrel.
out there, don't eat no squirrel, man.
Or possum.
Or possum or muskrat.
Muskrat hiney.
Go ahead.
It says Dr. N.
Dr. N.
Dr. N.
Sogbadrak,
Sobradrak.
director of Mongolia's National Center for Zoonotic Dermatology and Medicine, said, according to the Siberian Times, despite the fact that eating marmot is banned, damn, Citizen T,
Citizen T.
the male victim, hunted marmot. He ate the meat and gave it to his wife, and they died because the plague affected his stomach. 4 children are orphaned.
Yes.
No
They're
muskrat
Edomites,
hiney.
man. They're fucking Edomites, man. They probably didn't even cook it right.
It says, in addition, a key border near the Russian city of Novosibirsk and the Mongolian city of Ugly was suddenly closed.
So they closing down cities, man.
Damn.
That's in 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter.
Khan,
They won't be able to go to the next city, man.
until May 5th. The World Health Organization says that the bubonic plague can kill an adult in less than 24 hours if not treated properly, and it's caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis.
Yeah, so
which,
if I may say, they're getting the people programmed to accept that, because that's one
This
of
is hold up. This is the 4th quarantine in a week.
yeah. So the people are being programmed, and then they mentioned the bubonic plague, because that's one of the things the elites are going to use to scare the people to accept that chip.
that's right.
You better believe the chip is right around the corner, man. The mandatory implication of that chip.
Khan. Second
This
Ezra.
is known as predictive programming.
Programming. Come.
Khan.
Pressure from, like you mentioned,
Problem
yeah.
reaction solution.
Yeah.
Hegelian
Dialectic.
dialectics.
Yeah.
Pressure from above and pressure from below.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if the story is true or not. The generate is what how the people react to it is what the
Generate fear.
generate fear.
We have
Right.
nothing to fear
But fear itself. That's what that devil FDR
So
said.
they playing on your fears.
Yeah. So people read this or hear about it and they get afraid. Oh God, what are we gonna do? Well, you're gonna accept that chip and you'll be all right.
Right.
Okay, let's line up like sheep to get the chip.
Hey, if I was any of y'all, I wouldn't go on no plane.
Yep, that's right.
I wouldn't go to no motherfucking malls.
No
That's
airport.
right.
Don't go to the fucking airport.
I wouldn't go. Well, you know, I wouldn't go in the airport. I wouldn't go on in any motherfucking Greyhound buses. Hey, if you go to the supermarket, pick your shit up quick and get out of there. Get out.
Make sure it don't say marmot on the
Yeah,
back.
make sure it don't say
Muskrat hiney.
ingredient. Yeah, marmot.
Hey, well, wait a minute. In the Apocrypha, it says a man may desire to go to a city and shall not be able.
Yeah.
Right.
Why? Because of one of the reasons is being the city might be quarantined. You got it, brother.
2nd Ezra 16 and 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death.
Great death.
The beginning
well,
of-
the bubonic plague. The guy mentioned it. The video you're playing. He said it was responsible for killing what 50 million, something like that. The bubonic plague.
Forget exactly how.
Yeah.
It's
No, you can
50
do the
something.
research.
you
Everybody
can
can do
do
the research.
Yeah,
I'm waiting
that's
for
right.
us to do it for you.
Yeah,
You
right.
do the research your damn self.
There you go. That's it.
Look it up.
You got
Go
it.
ahead.
The beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear.
The powers is the government. They're going to stand in fear. Go ahead.
The beginning of evils, and what shall
Which is Jacob's trouble.
what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful
Yeah,
of the
people are going
scourges.
to do the same wicked. They're going to follow the same comedic nonsense. Islam, the Moors, the Baptists, the Methodists, the Christians. Go ahead.
God, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth,
Vitriol mean food. It's going to be cheap in the earth. Go ahead.
that they shall think themselves to be in a good case.
Then they're going to say, well, everything's cheap. Like this guy. Trump, they claim that that the economy has not been this good since 1969, which is fucking bullshit, man. Back in 1969, you can get a gallon of gas for 25 cents. So how the hell is this economy so great? The dollar is weak.
You should tell that to the guy you made the video about, that Edomite being the new nigga. He lost his job and.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
He don't believe that the economy is this great since 1969. He don't believe that shit. I think
because prior to 1970, you had this country, this business corporation. It was known for how can I put this in words? It was a manufacturing, production-based country. So the U.S. used to export various things around the world.
Yeah, goods. Yep.
Goods, and it became a credit-based meaning we were able to lend. The U.S. was able to lend to other nations. Mm-hmm. Now this is a what? It's a debt-based society where they're manufacturing very little, and that started in 1970, man. Yeah. And that goes into Obadiah.
Yeah.
Well, now set thy nest against the stars. Mm-hmm. All right. Thence will I bring thee down. That's when these devils started going down, man.
That's right.
And prior to 1970, you had the the white girls and the white boys. They dressed up in suits and ties. They went to school. They said the Pledge of Allegiance,
mm-hmm.
you know.
And prayer. There was prayer in the schools.
And prayer to school and all that. And you had the blue laws. You know what the blue laws are? The blue laws was when everything was closed on Sundays, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember that as a child.
Yeah.
All the stores were closed on Sundays. Now you got every store open on Sundays, including liquor stores.
Right.
You know. So from 1970 point up until now, this place has been going down pursuant to the scriptures. When thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down. So they've been slowly being brought down since 1970. So we're talking how many years? 70, 80, 90, 2000, 2010, 2019. We're talking about basically 50 years.
50 years, yeah.
You see? Go ahead.
It says that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other.
That's happening in Venezuela. That's happening in Middle Eastern countries. People are dying of starvation. And it's gonna come here to America.
It says, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. I'm gonna jump down. It says, for that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. Let's just jump down to verse 36. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman.
The plagues draw nigh and are not slack. The destruction is drawing nigh and shall not slack. Also, hold Habakkuk 2.
Okay. It says, behold. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack.
And the bubonic plague is a plague. That's why it's called a plague, the Black Plague.
Yep, Black Death.
Measles is a plague.
Plague, yep.
Yep.
And there'll be others too.
There'll be others, yep. There'll be new plagues. with names on it, new names on it.
Con.
Well, even though you don't hear too much about it, AIDS is a plague.
AIDS is a plague. Yep.
Yep. They even.
Well, you can consider yourself lucky if you get AIDS. You know, we talking about this bubonic plague. You die inside of a day.
Yeah, 24 hours, yeah.
It says, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which
yeah, because it comes all of a sudden. The woman's all right. She's scheduled to have the baby in a month and a half. She's driving somewhere, going to the movies, and all of a sudden she get those pains. You know,
which pains when the child.
And that's how the Most High is gonna, deal with this place. It's gonna be a beautiful, just like 9/11. It was a beautiful day in the morning, and all of a sudden, all hell broke loose.
All hell broke
and that changed the mindset of the people all around the planet Earth.
Yeah, overnight.
Overnight. Go ahead.
It says, which pain when the child cometh forth.
I remember I was doing deliveries back then, and there were certain deliveries I went to with bars, and everybody went to the fucking bar, man. It was drinking. And so what does it say about give strong drink to them that are about to perish?
Yeah.
A heavy heart.
Yep.
You know?
Everyone was glued to the television.
Everyone was glued to. They had the TV on. And no planes were flying. There was a no-fly zone.
Yeah.
The only planes that were flying were military planes.
Yeah.
You see?
Shut down.
Oh,
So they shut things down.
yeah. Some of these movies now with like Contagion and the different movies, they show you the aircraft that were flying and were military aircraft.
That's it.
They
Well,
got
that's happened at 9/11. I remember that.
Yeah, they got a movie out right now on Netflix called Black Summer, and all you see in Black Summer, all you see is military aircraft
Check
flying.
that out. I'm gonna check that out. Hey, well, I gotta go back to watching the movies, Contagion and
Yep, Contagion. Yeah.
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend and them type of movies.
Outbreak.
Hey, cause they closed down Manhattan because of the Crippen virus.
Yeah.
You know?
And the brother from L.A., Mawatazak, he did a video, and in that scene when they, in I Am Legend, they mentioned the measles.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that, man. Wow,
Yeah.
Wow.
The brother brought it out. The brother Mawatazak from L.A. did
Wow.
the video.
Wow.
Yep.
Let me try to get in contact. I don't know if this guy, what this brother's gonna do.
That's it. Shut down.
Tell her, hey, come here real quick. We're doing a video right now, and there's an outbreak of the Black Plague in Mongolia. We just heard about it, so we're doing a video on it. Just line them brothers up, and we come out in a minute, right? All right, shalom. See, they didn't even know. See how fast news is flying?
Yep.
Go ahead.
It said, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth.
So it's gonna come out of nowhere, man. New plagues, new diseases.
Yep. And the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
Hey, so I can say that we're in the beginning of Jacob's trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And what's going to happen in the midst of Jacob's trouble? We're going to be delivered out of it.
Come.
Yeah.
So our salvation was my phone.
Yeah, that's our hope. Our hope is to be delivered by Yahweh Shah.
Come.
Follow the cord. Yeah, probably fell.
The Apostle Paul said we're prisoners of hope.
Yep.
So, it's one of the things we're hoping for, to be delivered, man.
Come.
The prophets they all said, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days?
That's right.
We're talking about those days right now, the days of the Black Death. Can you imagine that? If that thing goes viral, which it will go,
Yep.
a lot of people are going to die. A lot of people are going to get, heart attacks from wondering if they're going to get that Black Death.
Yeah. And then it says great confusion.
Great
Above all,
confusion.
Perplexity. Yeah.
because you see when people start getting sick, they start bugging out.
They start bugging out, yeah.
People are going to start losing it, man. Anyway, with that, we're going to close.
All right.
You know?
And then it
We
says,
might do some updates on it, you know?
it says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth."
Yeah, don't be settling down, man. No more rap music and
No
party.
more.
Just teach the word,
Let's
brother.
teach the word, man.
Anyway, with that, we're going to say shalom.